Welcome back to Garth's Graveyard Garage. We're going to do things a little different this time. Instead of a will it run, we're going to do a history on this car, which is my most asked about vehicle in my fleet. So we're going to go take a trip back in time and I'm going to show you, unfortunately I don't have a lot of video, but I'm going to show you the steps I did of the concept creation of the ZOMBUGG. So here we go. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend and getting this thing ready for the car show. And figured I'd show you the steps of what I did to build this thing, show you what I did, how I did it, what I learned along the way, and future plans for this thing. Because it is, I wouldn't say probably 50% done. I've got a lot more plans for this. So let me just give you some quick close-ups real quick, and then I'll go over everything I've done. So I'm a huge Herbie fan. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. Flags are up here for the JROTC. And of course, I'm a Transformers fan. I've got to have a little bit of Bumblebee on this thing. The name ZOMBUGG just kind of came out of nowhere. It was a name that a couple people had kind of thrown around and it kind of stuck, and so we kept it. So it is now known as the ZOMBUGG. So now, some people have asked me why the Ghostbusters, why the Herbie, why the Transformers. Well, the story is, when I lost my wife in 2017, I've always been into comic book stuff, mainly Deadpool. I've always been a huge Deadpool fan, way before the movies. I decided to start cosplaying as Deadpool for like children's charity stuff, visiting hospitals, visiting kids that are terminally ill, going to different events for, like, say, Down syndrome kids, hanging out with them. And I started going as Deadpool, which is also why the Camaro back here originally, that's why it says Dadpool on the license plate. That became known as my nickname, but that was originally the Deadpool car. When I started working on this, I thought to myself, what would Deadpool drive if he did drive and he wasn't just riding around in the back of a cab? It'd be something off the wall with probably nostalgic movie car references, so I just kind of came up with this. So that's what this is what I built it for, so Deadpool can show up to kids' events in a cool Monster Beetle. And I know the kids love it, because if I go pick up my daughter, for instance, at school, all the kids go crazy. I mean, they will line up and want to talk to me about it and check it out, and I've given a couple kids rides in it and they love it. So that's basically what it is. It's a giant toy, and yeah, like I said, it's not finished. I plan on eventually probably doing an axle swap, going up to at least 44-inch tires, putting a V8 in this thing, taking the lift up even higher, and then of course I've still got to finish some interior. So this is where we are now. I put new door panels on it, carpet. These seats came out of that Subaru I showed you in the other video. So I've got, you know, fancy electric seat. These were tan, I dyed them black. The speedometer is temporary. I'm trying to figure out what to do, so that's a GPS speedometer. Got some gauges in here. I'm working on the center dash where I'm going to put a touchscreen stereo system. Had to put in an aftermarket fuel gauge to match the Ford fuel tank in this thing because I kept the Ford fuel tank, so it's still back here. And then one of my other project Beetles, somebody had the seats reupholstered in it, but the car was junk, so I put the back seat in it. Now, I've seen people build Monster Beetles before, but they always build them strictly for off-road use. I wanted this thing to be completely street legal, so it is. It's all street legal. So, put a new headliner in it. First time, y'all go easy on me. It's the first time I've ever done a Beetle headliner. It is not fun. So, I learned along the way of the do's and don'ts. I had to replace the windshield. And I've still got some more stuff I'm going to do on the inside. I'm working on a custom speaker box for the backside, and it's going to have a little movie car stuff in it. My goal, if I can build it right, it's going to be 2 subs with a flux capacitor in the middle of it that actually lights up. But one thing I did decide to keep is this piece of glass with these original stickers. This car came out of Guadalajara when it was new. This is a Super Beetle. And these are all the original registration stickers. So here's the first registration sticker this car ever got, back when it was new. And then the next one, then the next one. And then there was more on the old windshield, which unfortunately I couldn't save. So the original owners of this car have seen it since I've done this and think it's really cool, because I'm going to show you now what this thing looked like when I got it. It was very far gone. So let's take a trip back in time real quick and I'll show you what I came up with. Now, my original plan for this is I fell in love with the patina. When my buddy called me up and said he was selling this bug, I saw the patina and I didn't see anything else about the car, didn't know anything about the engine, anything. I just liked the patina. So I told him I would buy it. The problem is when I got it back, started noticing all the cancer, the floor pans, everything. I realized this car was just very shot and not worth putting a lot of money into because it is a Super Beetle. So that's when I came up with a different idea, and I've always been intrigued by and loved rat rods, 4x4s, and Beetles. What's up, everyone? It's been a while since I've done a project update, so I figured I'd let y'all know now that I'm kind of balls deep into this. The Beetle, like I showed in the previous video, if you didn't see it, you can go back and find it. It's somewhere in my newsfeed. But the floorboard on this thing was completely rotten, which would mean I'd have to take the body off of it to change all the floor pans out. And then I was like, you know, if I'm going to do all that and take the body off, I want to take this thing a lot further and basically do some monster garage modifications. So I started doing some research, and I wanted to find something that would match the same wheelbase but in a 4-wheel drive. And there was basically no vehicles out there that had the exact same wheelbase except for one that was within a half an inch of this one. So there became my idea of, I want to turn this Beetle into a 4x4 monster, and something I can lift up, put some big giant tires on it, make it a front engine, have air conditioning, power steering, automatic, something that would be something fun yet cool and not as much work as chopping up a frame or anything. So what I found is that within a half an inch of the wheelbase of the Beetle is the old Bronco 2s, V6, 4-wheel drive, automatic, all the bells and whistles. So anyways, my buddy Mike just went and picked that up for me, and I found it way up outside Lampasas, Texas, and got it cheap. I don't know if it runs or not. I just popped the hood. The engine looks pretty decent for being, I think it's been sitting for, well, I guess it'd be 20 years it's been sitting. But I'm going to pull the engine out anyways and put a 4.0 V6 in it, give it more power, because these little engines these things came with sucked. So yeah, I'm going to be putting, my plan is to put the bug body on this chassis, lifting it up and everything, and having a monstrous 4x4 Beetle that I'm going to leave the patina and everything and clear coat and make it look kind of rustic. But so that's my current project. It's now here, so I can start chopping this thing up. So if anybody needs parts here up for a Bronco 2, let me know, because I'm gonna demolish this thing and just leave basically the chassis and drivetrain. So that's where I'm at. And if you need any parts, let me know before I cut too far. All right, later. Now, when I contacted the guy about this Bronco 2, he told me that it was parked 20-something years ago because the engine was blown, and then in the meantime some kids had kicked out the windshield. So I was real surprised on this next part. Now, after I realized the engine was actually okay, I just decided I'll pull the engine out and go ahead and rebuild it and figure out what's wrong with it, why it was parked, and get it back in the truck, and we'll just use it for right now. So I immediately started disassembling the body and the chassis from the chassis and getting everything ready. And what I figured, since a Volkswagen Beetle doesn't have its own floor pan or doesn't stay attached to the body, I was just going to keep the floor pan from the Bronco. That way it would line right back up with the body mounts. So I chopped the body down to match with the frame and lined it up with the Beetle to where the Beetle body would sit on it. So here became the disassembly and reassembly. So of course, pulling a body off of a Beetle is real easy. There was not much left of the chassis, so it ended up going to Iceman, and he went and scrapped it and recycled it. And chopped out the front bay where the new front engine would sit, and rebuilt the motor, and it was surprisingly clean, very clean. While the Volkswagen body was off, I went ahead and put a big suspension lift on it, and when I started sizing up the body to set on the frame, to notch it to sit over the frame, I realized I liked the way it sat up on the chassis. So there became my idea of, I'm just going to create some body mounts to keep it up in the air the way it is, and I just really dug the look. The problem with that is it made those tires I had pre-bought for the plan very small, because those are 35-inch tires that I have on there. Brand new 35 tires with rims. If I had known it was going to sit up like it did, I would have gone straight up to 44s. So that's future plan. And of course the little one, she was in the midst of this with me the whole time. She just absolutely was having a ball play with this project. She couldn't wait to ride in it. So eventually we'll get bigger tires and better axles. Now, I did have to re-gear it on the rear diff, since it was, I remember what it was. It was a very high ratio gear, which didn't work out real well, and that's why I ended up putting 456s in it for right now. And then started laying out the graphics. I knew I wanted to do the Deadpool stuff, anything he might reference. So Herbie, Ghostbusters, Transformers, for Bumblebee. So I hand drew all the graphics and hand painted everything, and I wanted it all to blend in with the patina. So once I made all the graphics nice and pretty, I came back and did the weathering on the paint, scuffed it up, and did a few little tricks using Vaseline, baby powder, and other tricks with sandpaper, scotch pads, to make it look like it had been on the car for a very long time. And then here you're going to see our first test drive. One of the problems I was having here is the ignition system that was on that Bronco 2 it was just a horrible ignition system right off the bat, I mean, from the factory. And I saw where people had done the HEI conversion. So that's what I did. I did an HEI conversion on this thing, but it just never quite ran right. It would sputter, pop, shut off. It just never got it quite right. So I ended up basically backing the ignition system up to like a 1978 Pinto or a Mustang 2, more of an old school style electronic ignition, and that worked perfect. I haven't had any problems with anything since then, so that's what that is. Now this is my second test drive my mom was filming, and she was cracking up because there was a short in the column that kept making the horn go off, and it was very frustrating.
That's funny. The horn's just honking by it, so I guess he's happy. Herbie's happy. Huh? But Herbie's happy, isn't he?
Right here, I'll show you the old stickers that I left on the car, and got all the electrical started to working, getting the lights all put back in, got the seats dyed with ZOMBUGG on the back headrest, and then had the kiddo in there helping me clean up and get everything insulated and carpeted, and got the interior all laid out, and I think it came out pretty good. And this is where my oldest daughter talked me into letting her go for a test drive, so I let her take it in the back field and have a little fun with it. Beat me to death. Oh, my door open.
Now you just gotta put a bigger engine in it.
Yeah, I will. There you go. And then once I got it all running and driving great, I finally decided it was time for some bumpers. So the front one I fabricated and made out of basically templates of cardboard to create. I wanted a kind of a semi-looking mean trucker style front bumper, so I did that, and I needed enough lines in the front, or airflow, to get through to the radiator. And then the back one I cheated and found a bumper from I think a YJ Jeep, and then just built some custom brackets to make it fit onto the car.
Look at all the beautiful cars. Ignore the trash can. Yeah, they kind of got away from it. One of my dream homes right here. Only I would rather have the 454 instead of the 350, but that is beautiful. So beautiful. Got some of the new stuff. Mach 1. Beautiful. I love that house. a Zombug. If you can't tell, it's the oldest behind the camera. Hi. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. Ooh. That sounds beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Speaking of searching and searching, I know y'all are wondering where the left mobile's at, but our wonderful commander is over here, and he is in charge of our...
Didn't get to show you all this one because it pulled up after I shut it off last time. It's gorgeous. Little behind the scenes of Garth over there munching.
It'll be a lot bigger when I'm done. Got about an hour left out here at the car show. They're doing raffle giveaways right now. I entered the one to win a gun, so we'll see if I win a rifle or a pistol. But anyways, it's a good decent turnout for something that wasn't widely advertised. But I know the kids are starting to get worn out.
7 million and something. 708-980. 908.
All right, that wraps up that car show. So we are heading out. Didn't win anything. No guns, no trophies, none of that. It was a decent turnout, but we got another car show coming up in a couple weeks that I think is going to be pretty cool. So I'll definitely tag you guys along for that one. So all right, we're on our way back to the shop. We are back from the car show, and I just want to say thank you for staying tuned in. And you have almost put us at the 10,000 subscriber mark in a matter of 3 months. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate everything. I love swapping stories with you guys, the people that are emailing me and leaving comments and hearing the stories about your projects and your vehicles. I do like reading those, so please continue to do that. The main reason we did this video, one, is because it was a car show weekend and we wanted to get this thing ready again, because it sits a lot. I drive it maybe once a week, but I wanted to show you guys more about this project and how it came to be. And you can also see in there, if you look at the old footage of me and now, this is what grandkids do. They cause gray hair. But anyways, we've got parts coming for Clyde, for Hulk, and got some other projects in the works. My oldest and I started working on another project that will probably get posted here pretty soon, and we'll get that video posted probably, hopefully this next coming week, so we'll see. But please continue to like, share, subscribe, and the further you take this, the bigger and better our projects can get, and we want to get to the point where we can finally start doing the charitable stuff and actually taking our travels on the road and doing things in remote locations. One idea I came up with is possibly finding maybe an old RV motorhome or a coach or something that's, you know, been forgotten, and we fix it up. And if that's something you'd like to see us do, that'd be cool, but it's something that we'd like to take on the road with us. And we've got one more project that the Iceman and I are working on involving kids and bicycles that's very cool, and we're going to share those projects with you. We're starting local with that. It's a local charity thing that we're going to do, and giving bikes to kids that need bikes. And so that's one of the other projects we're working on. And somebody had mentioned working on a boat. Well, I've got a boat, so if that's something you guys actually want to see me work on, the only thing I've done to that is drop an engine in it. And I'm not a boat guy. This is like the first time I've dug into a boat, so it's one of those things where I'm learning as I go. I'm having to study and learn all about boats, because every time I've had a boat in the past, it was I got it and put it in the water. I didn't have to do anything. So this is a little different. And then I've got some other little things I need to get back on the road, or should I say just back driving. I've got like an old four-wheeler, my wheelie poppers that my grandfather and my uncle built back in the 80s. I need to get those back going. Figure out if I'm actually going to finish the dune buggy. But yeah, we've got projects, and hoping to get a lot more fun ones. And we're always going to be on the search for more. So we're gonna keep our eyes open, and eventually, like I said, get out on the road and find some stuff in remote locations. And I have not forgot about the giveaway that we're gonna do here coming up on the 10,000 mark. So we're gonna be doing that here shortly. That'll be another giveaway we're gonna do, and hopefully, if things keep progressing like they are, we can do that 100,000 subscriber giveaway. We're hoping we can get to that point, because that would be fantastic. And that's when we're going to give away that Chevy Love. So every time we get bigger breaks in the sub count, we're going to do more things to that Chevy Love. So you guys are going to get to see the progression we make on that. We're going to try and do more to it than just making it back on the road. We're actually going to fix that thing up, do some cool stuff to it, and when we hopefully hit that 100,000 subscriber mark, we're going to deliver that truck to the winner. So you'll have to be within the 48, possibly 49 states. We might take it to Alaska. It might be a fun road trip, but we want to deliver it to you guys. If for some reason somebody out of the country wins it, you have the option if you want to claim it. If not, we'll figure out a secondary prize for you, and then we'll give the truck away in another one. We do want to give the Chevy Love away, so that's our goal. But anyways, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video coming up shortly.